So this is a Battleborn battery called the Game Changer, and today we're gonna review it. So this is a 12 volt, 270 amp hour battery for over $2,000. And it is massive. Look at this thing. And the size for the capacity is horrible. This battery has more capacity, is a fraction of the price, is much smaller, has the terminals on the top, and also weighs less. Anyways, today we're gonna test this battery and see what's inside. First test I did was a capacity test, and this battery was manufactured in 2024. And here are the results of the test, 258 amp hours from a 270 amp hour battery. And that comes out to 4.3% degradation. Next test was max continuous charge and discharge. Now the data sheet says 135 amp charge and a 300 amp continuous discharge. But when I tested it, I was not able to do that. So first off, I could charge all day with 135 amps. But when I discharged with 300 amps, it would disconnect a lot. First disconnect was at 38 amp hours, the next one was at 139 amp hours, and the third one was at 235 amp hours. So I kept letting the battery cool down, and then I would test again when it turned on, and then it would cut off every single time. So I lowered it to 250 amps, and I got 83 amp hours, then 171, and then 258. It wasn't until I lowered it to 200 amps that it could actually run a continuous load. And with that test, I pulled 261.5 amp hours. Next, I tested the overcurrent protection, and I pulled around 500 to 600 amps, but there was an issue. Usually, if a battery shuts down from overcurrent, it will stay shut down, and it will test to see if the load is gone, and then it will turn itself back on. This one does not do that. With this battery, it would turn on and off, and here's a video of the needle moving back and forth, and it continued to do this, and this is not what you want to see. On most batteries I test, it will shut down and stay shut down until the load is gone. And even on the starter battery ones, there's a longer time delay. This one, it just kept trying over and over. Also, when it seems like I overheated it with the 300 amps, I had to use the charger to turn it back on. It would be at 0 volts. Usually when you overheat, it will wait until the temperature lowers to the proper temperature and then it turns itself back on. But with this one, I had to use a charger to wake it up, which was different. Also, you'll notice the capacity went up the more I tested it, so I think these cells are imbalanced. And that could be from the previous owners not charging it enough. I always recommend people charge to 100% as often as they can. Now, because this is a Battleborn, I was worried it was going to melt, just like all the other ones I melted. So I was looking for hot spots, and I didn't see any. So let's open the battery up and see what's inside. Now that was not an easy battery to take apart. This is the same horrible design in the last battery we tested, their other 270 amp hour battery. These cell packs simply sit on these copper plates, and there is no mechanical connection. That means that this battery case is holding the connection together. It's using plastic. And the coefficient of thermal expansion of plastic is different than metal. So if you put this battery in a hot space, it will loosen. It will be a larger case and it will have a looser electrical connection. And I have a video showing one of those cells venting because over time these can create hot spots. And this is a high current connection, upwards of 500 amps max. And it's just sitting on plates held together with plastic. That is crazy, especially in a high vibration environment like a boat or an RV. And you can see the movement because it's scratched up. Look at all those scratches. You do not want to have a dynamic electrical connection. And this one's really bad. And this was on the top, not the bottom. And it's not just scratch marks, there's black marks. Looks like there was arcing just like in the last one we destroyed. And look at this, the tape goes between the cell pack. And this one is covered up right here, so this is not flush. Like, look at this. There is tape between an electrical connection. Surface area-wise, it's not much, but that's a bad design. Oh, look at this. Guys, the case melted. This is the heater control terminal. And it's literally toasted. Look at that. This thing was born to burn. Jeez. How many bad designs can they put into one battery? This is crazy. Here's the burned out board. Look at that. Yeah, the connector and the board components are melted. This thing smells bad, so I'm moving it outside. Look at this, the BMS overheated. And there's foam on the other side. Is this what they're relying upon to keep these contacts together? The BMS is a bit stinky, and you'll notice there's a curve. And it's easier to see from this angle, and it smells awful. And this whole board was being held down with a zip tie. That's worse than the budget batteries that I opened. I'm gonna take this outside because this is not good for my lungs. Now this battery is over $2,000, and they just stick the temperature sensor on with a piece of tape. This is what you see on $100 batteries. $2,000, guys. Here's the other one. What are they thinking? A Yijing battery is a fraction of the price and has 4 temperature sensors. Like, why are they so far behind? So not impressive, but not surprised, especially from this company. Using a plastic case and spongy foam should not be used to hold electrical connections together. What's interesting is it's the same problem with the 100 amp hour, but it's using the whole case to hold an electrical connection. It's the same issue. Who would spend over $2,000 for this? That's crazy. Something else to mention, this is the fancy battery that can do 300 amps charge and discharge all day long. It even has a cooling fan on the BMS. And this is $799, but they have a cheaper heated version for $599. In this battery, the heated version is $2,599. Now, if you have these batteries, please check out my older video where I actually had a cell vent from this same design issue. And the case almost bursted. It created a bubble on the side and it vented out from there. And this is where the pressure released. Once it builds up, it has to go somewhere. Now what's cool about this video is I tested the battery and overall it worked and it pulled almost full capacity, but it still had problems and the BMS was melted. And that board melted too, like just so many problems. Usually I cycle these batteries until the case melts, but this time it looked fine, but there was a problem inside. Also, if you have any of these other batteries from Battleborn, you need to take your system apart into individual packs and then test them. Some people will say, oh, my Battleborn batteries I've been using for 5 years, they work great. Just because your system turns on and a couple batteries might still be working doesn't tell you much. You have to capacity test every single battery or even do a load test and see what happens. A lot of these problems are hiding in people's systems and they're still running them. It's dangerous. It's not a matter of if, but when they will start to vent. Especially with the 100 amp hour, that thing's a ticking time bomb. The whole bus bar can melt and it will overheat the cells. A lot of people keep saying, oh, I'm not going to use that much current, it will be fine. It's not fine, especially if you use these in a high vibration environment and there's no mechanical connection and they're sliding past each other while you go down the road. This is just an accident waiting to happen. Now we found problems in all the batteries. There's nothing else. I've done all of them now. Now all of these Battleborn videos are on a playlist, so you can see all of them. And I have all of my data public for my cycle testing machine and everything else. And links for that are under each individual video, so please check it out if you want to learn more. Now, I had a million requests from my viewers to make this video of this battery because another sailing channel by a guy named Colin, he actually put a lot of these batteries into his boat. And it's literally the last Battleborn battery I haven't tested. So yeah, again, we found more issues. He also said that he emailed me. I checked my spam folders, all of my inboxes, and I couldn't find that email anywhere. But a lot of people are mad because he took all those batteries for free and he's like, I didn't have any problems with it. And then he slapped them into his boat and a lot of people were mad. I don't think he understands the gravity of the situation and the warranty claims being denied. Go under my videos and read the comments. Read what people are experiencing with Battleborn. These batteries have real problems, and if you go to the company, you get denied warranty claims one after the other. And I think Colin's happy because he got a bunch of batteries, but it's kind of messed up. Those batteries have real issues, and I want to see Colin actually test his old batteries. Open them up on camera. We all want to see what's inside. He is an engineer. He can do this. He can build things with his hand, and he's on a sailboat. So let's see you open up the batteries and let's see what's going on. A boat is a perfect test environment. So if it got hot in there and then that bus bar started loosening up, we can see it. Also, there's a forum for sprinters, and I've had the worst time of my life on there. Anytime I post something, they think that I'm stress testing all of these batteries, even though I keep it within the specs on the data sheet, and they think I'm sensationalizing these issues. Go under any video and see what people are experiencing. My inbox is filled with them. I just want to make a database and get everyone's permission and make it public, because there are so many people that are disappointed with Battleborn, and their fanboys just don't see it as a problem. Also, I'm not sponsored by Vatier. I could have used any battery as an example. That's how bad the Battleborn is. Another thing that annoys me about the Battleborn fanboys is anytime they post, they say, oh, Will had a glowing review. He was so happy with Battleborn. Really? With that first video, I had no contract, I had no deal, I didn't tell him I was gonna do it, nothing. And all the engineers that watch my channel, they missed that issue too, and I did as well. But once I found the issue, I made now 8 videos on it. Okay, like I keep getting these fanboys and they're like, oh, he had a glowing review. That was like 100 batteries ago. Now I have new equipment, I have calibrated lab equipment that can tell me everything. And the Battleborn trolls just don't seem to go away. And there's a lot of them on the Sprinter forum. That place is unbearable to be on. So anyways, I hope this video is useful. If you have these batteries, you should not use them. They're not safe to use. None of them now, okay, all of them. It's the same logic. Using plastic to hold electrical connections is not right, especially when it's hundreds of amps and it's a mobile system and it's moving. Like, what? Anyways, I get so mad when I even think about this. I hope you liked the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.